From open relationships to ethical non-monogamy, Gen Z has been really redefining dating terms and dating in itself. But here's the uncomfortable question. What if a lot of people are actually forcing themselves into relationships that they are not equipped for? So let's break it. In the last decade, alternative relationship models have become more visible and accepted. Research in sociology shows a rise in individual-like relationships where people design love outside traditional norms. Sounds freeing, right? But freedom without the understanding of self can quickly turn into pressure. Let's bring in attachment theory, one of the most well-supported framework in psychology. So people usually fall into patterns like anxious, secure, or avoidant attachment. Secure individuals, they tend to handle emotional complexity better, whereas anxious individuals, they are very sensitive to rejection and comparison. And avoidant individuals, they struggle with emotional closeness. Now here's the key. Non-monogamy does not fix these patterns, rather it amplifies them. Research on non-monogamous consensual relationships shows that the satisfaction of the relationship heavily relies on communication, emotional regulation, and attachment security. Without these three components, people report higher amount of jealousy, emotional strain, and stress. Here's where things become tricky. So there's a growing cultural narrative that being open-minded means you have to be open relationally, and that monogamy is restrictive and jealousy is toxic. So people start overriding their own emotions. And this creates cognitive dissonance, a state where your internal state of mind does not match with your external behavioral patterns. And that in long term can be exhausting. When people enter into relationships that does not align with their emotional capacity, the effects tend to stack up, leading to chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and emotional burnout. And yeah, losing trust in oneself and constant comparison. Research links relational stress and emotional suppression to depressive symptoms and identity instability. And it's definitely not because monogamy or non-monogamy is bad. It's because misalignment is harmful. So there's no superior relationship model, and monogamy is not outdated. Neither is non-monogamy automatically evolved. What matters the most is psychological alignment. Do you feel safe? Do you feel seen and heard? Do you feel like yourself in that relationship? And don't forget, do you feel honest and can communicate honestly? So yeah, here the real flex is not about being open or exclusive. It's knowing what you want and what suits your psychological alignment. It's in knowing what actually works for you and not negotiating just to fit in a trend or just to conform to this growing cultural narrative. So never negotiate against your own mind to fit in a trend. Bye.